Events in the last 24 hours have put a series of high-level meetings front and center at the White House, with at least one familiar face sitting down with the president today.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie and his wife Mary Pat are scheduled to lunch with President Trump at the White House this afternoon. Christie said in a radio interview this morning, not much is known about the agenda.
It would not surprise me at all to spend, an hour with him socializing and talking about our families and life in general. If he wants to talk about certain business or get my input on anything, he's never been shy to ask, and if he asks, I'll offer.
But there's plenty to talk about. General Michael Flynn, just 22 days into his new position as the president's national security advisor, abruptly stepped down. In his resignation letter, he blamed the fast pace of events during the presidential transition for causing him to inadvertently leave out key details of phone calls with the Russian ambassador prior to inauguration.
If you're the vice president and the president, you cannot have somebody working for you, advising you, that you have to question their trust and credibility.
Previously, Flynn had claimed that the two did not discuss sanctions, a potential violation of U.S. law. Yet evidence surfaced Monday that the Justice Department had warned the White House last month that Flynn had deceived them about his contacts with Russia. Frontrunners to replace him for the top security post include retired Lieutenant General Joseph Keith Kellogg, who is temporarily taking over Flynn's position, retired Admiral Robert Harwood, and former CIA Director David Petraeus. On another front, photos emerged on social media of the president and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe publicly reading information by candlelight, surrounded by club members at Mar-a-Lago. This happened shortly after North Korea test-fired a ballistic missile. In the photo, Trump's chief strategist Steve Bannon and former National Security Advisor Mike Flynn can be seen hovering just above him. Some thought they were discussing sensitive national security matters in plain view, but in a statement, the White House said that's not what happened, insisting that the president was briefed on the North Korea situation in a classified setting both before and after the dinner. North Korea has been a source of frustration for the United States over the course of a decade.
The Bush administration tried, the Obama administration tried. There'll be meaningless statements of condemnation out of the UN, as we saw yesterday. I mean, that doesn't do much.
Townsend says that it's China that's got the most leverage with North Korea.
They're the oxygen that allows North Korea to continue to operate, and we have to get them to use that leverage to apply real pressure on the North Koreans to dial back.
But dialing back may present a challenge to the Trump administration. Townsend adds the White House doesn't have that leverage with China themselves at this point. Craig Boswell, CBS 2 News.